Hello everyone, my name is Alina, and in this video I will show you how you can set up an external Git repository using Gitlab to deploy to Umbraco Cloud by using a feature called Bidirectional mirroring. But before we jump into how you can achieve this, let's grab some terms. Umbraco is a .NET open source content management system which is used for building and managing websites. It is offered for free and can be used and hosted anywhere. Compared to Umbraco CMS, Umbraco Cloud is one of the best places to host your Umbraco CMS websites. Gitlab is another cloud hosting service for Git repositories, which is similar to GitHub, the difference being that Gitlab is open source. Please note that I'm not affiliated with Gitlab in any way. Alright, now let's get access to an Umbraco Cloud project and see how we can create a Gitlab repository. In order to get access to a project on Umbraco Cloud, we will need to create an account. This can be done either by creating a trial, or if you are invited to a project that was created by someone else. In my case, I got invited to an already created project, so I will just go ahead and accept the invite on my mail. Great. So as you can see, as I had no account, I will need to add in some details and then I can see the project. So first I will need to request a verification code, which then I should be able to receive a new mail. I will just get that code and then verify it. Nice. So now I can continue with the details. A password. Great, so now I can just go ahead and accept the invite. Go to the project page. So I can see that this is the latest version of Umbraco 11. So what we want to achieve now is to add a bidirectional mirroring. Gitlab defines this as a configuration of two repositories to both pull from and push to each other. So in our case, the two repositories are the Gitlab repository and Umbraco Cloud repository. So as it is now, it will pull changes from our live environment from Cloud and then push to Gitlab. But instead of live environment, let's create a development environment and configure it to pull and push changes to and from Gitlab. So I will just go ahead to my Cloud project and then click on Manage Environments and create a development environment. Development environment is mostly used as a testing environment for our code changes so that we can test that the site still works as expected before we have those changes on live. This can help us avoid being in a situation where the site is down if we push some broken code to the site. Also, when Umbraco pushes upgrades, security, patches, etc., it is automatically upgraded on Gitlab repository as well. And this is once we set up the bidirectional mirroring. So now while we wait for a development environment to be created, we can see that this feature is premium, which you can buy if you would like to. However, as I will just like to test this feature, I will just go ahead and create a free trial. So adding in a first name, last name, username, and my mail is actually the same. Nice, and then a password. Nice, so let's just verify our mail. Great, now we can just log in again. Okay, I'm a software developer. I'm signing up because I want to use GitLab CI with my existing repository. It will be just me. Company name, Umbraco, Nice. Group name, let's say demo. And then the project name, I will call it the same as I have it on Cloud. And here it's important to uncheck this include the getting started readme file, because it will interfere with what we want to achieve in this demo. So just go ahead and create a project. Okay, let's go. So now you can actually start inviting your colleagues if you like to. Great. So now we have a new empty GitLab repository without any files, and we can check if we go to the name of our repository, and here we can see that this project is empty. Great. Now let's add bidirectional mirroring, and we can do this by going to settings, repository, and here we have mirroring repositories. And if we extend it, we can add our Git repository from Cloud, which we can do so by clicking on the drop down and then clone project. And then the instructions say that we need to add our email as well. So and then one more add. Nice. And here we can see that we have a mirror direction. We'll start first with a pool, and here we need to add our password that we are using to log into the Umbraco Cloud portal. Nice. And now I just mirror the repository. Great, so now we can see that we have our pool mirror repository. So the only one that can set up is a push. So we will need to do the same. And then the password. Great, so now we have two mirror repositories. So let's check if they are connected by checking the history on Umbraco Cloud and then on Gitlab. So if we go to our environment history for development environment, we can see that our latest commit is that we added the development environment. So we can check the history on Gitlab by going to repository graph. And here we can see that we have the same commit from Umbraco Cloud as well. Great. If we go to our repository on GitLab, we can see here as well that we have our files and folders from Umbraco Cloud from our project, and a nice README file which shows you and explains how you can run the project, what is the structure, and what each file means, and what you can find and where, how you can rename your Umbraco project, and many others. If you're new to Umbraco, I highly recommend that you give the README a read. Now, let's see how the pool mirroring works by creating some changes on the development environment on Cloud. So let's head back to our development environment. I will just head to my back office. And then the first thing that I will need to do is create a document type with template. I will just add an icon of home and call my document type home with a content group name and a property of a title. And this one can use a text box. Oh, and we need to remember that we need to allow it as root so that we can actually create the content. Nice. I call this one home as well. And then as a title, I'll just write, is this showing on GitLab? And then hit save and publish. And meanwhile, I will head to the front end of my page. Nice. So as we can see, it's blank, and this is because I need to render my property from the document type into my template so that it can actually show on the front end. There we go. Nice. So now let's check our environment history. And now we can see that we have added our document type and template home. So now if we go back to Gitlab and then to the graph so that we can see the same changes. In a short while, Gitlab will pull the changes. However, if you wish to have the changes shown without waiting, then we can just head back to our mirror repository and then pull the changes. So let's check now the graph from Gitlab. So now we can see that we have the same changes that we have on Umbraco Cloud on the development environment. So let's try this time the bidirectional push mirroring to see if it works as well. And we can do this by making some changes to the same template where we have added the title property. So let's head to the name of our project, search Umbraco project, views, and here we have our home template. So we can just open in Web IDE. So here I will just add an h1 tag. And I will add one more tag on h3, let's say. And here I will just type in, yes, this is showing on Gitlab. And then we just need to remember this was an h3 tag. Great, so now we can commit our change. Updated homepage. Now use the current branch master. Nice, so now our changes have been committed. Great, so now we can see our change right here. And then if we just head to the branch, now we can see that it has pushed to the master branch. Great, so now if we check our development environment, for example, the front page, we just need to refresh. There we go. Now we can see our changes. If we inspect the page, we will see that we have the same tags as well. Great. Now that we have those changes on development environment and we are happy with it, we can deploy them to live environments so that they can show there as well. We can do so by clicking on the deploy changes to live. We can add a short summary. Edit homepage, let's say. Now we can see that it starts the deployment. Great, so now our deployment has been completed. However, now if we check the front page of our live environment, we can see that it doesn't have the same content. And this is because on Umbraco Cloud, the deployments between the environments, it goes two ways. One is for the schema or the code changes, which we have just deployed them right now. And the other one is content transfer. And the content, we can transfer it to the next environment by going to the content and then queuing for transfer. And then we can see that it's trying to deploy to the live environment. So just transfer to live. Great, and now that we get a deploy complete. If we just refresh our live environment front end, we should be able to see the same changes. There we go. So far we have done the changes directly on Gitlab. However, we can also use the clone tool, which you can see it if you go to the name of your repository and clone. If you don't wish to deploy accidentally to a master branch on Umbraco Cloud, you can actually create a feature branch on Gitlab. And this can be done by clicking on the plus button, and then you can create a new branch. Let's say this is a test branch, and then we can create it from master. We can also add a tag, and this tag is used for version testings, RCs, milestones, etc. Test tag, let's say. And let's make this one from the test branch. So now if we go to our graph, now we can see that our latest change will be taken from the test branch and the test tag. If you wish to assign a task for someone, you can create an issue and then assign it to one of your team members. This way you can actually have the option to create a branch for them. So let's say test issue. Let's say this is an issue. You can add some text. You can assign it. Let's say I'm assigning this to myself. And then we can just create an issue. And then once we make our changes, then we can create a merge request. We just need to not delete the source branch once it is accepted, and then just merge. In addition to the feature branch, there is a protected branch which allows us to limit the merge or push option of some specific branches. So if you go to settings, repository, and then here we have protected branches. So we can select which branch we want to have it protected. Let's say a test branch. And then here we can choose who can merge from this branch. Let's say no one. And then protect. So now we can see it right here that our default one is the master, and only the maintainers are allowed to push the changes. So there are many more features that Gitlab offers, as well as Umbraco Cloud. But for now, I will just stop here. So thank you for checking out this video.